Hey guys, I hope you're all doing super fantastisch. Oh my god, that's like a Franz Ferdinand song, isn't it? Ich heiße super fantastisch. Ich trinke Shampoos mit Lackfisch. Ich heiße super fantastisch. That darn movie show. Yeah, That's a Pleasure by Franz Ferdinand. Great song. Would definitely check it out if you haven't heard it already. So yeah, I noticed another one of the movies that I saw in Gothenburg is out this week, and it's one that I am just crazy excited to see again. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about it, share some of my memories, and mostly just encourage you guys to go see it because I am crazy, stupid, in love with this movie, and that movie is Marjane Satrapi's The Voices. Now, I don't think this movie is going to be for everyone. It's definitely got a very particular tone to it. It's very dark in parts. Basically, Ryan Reynolds is playing this sort of accidental serial killer. He's a very sort of nice, naive dude, but he is just struggling with the fact that his cat, Mr. Whiskers, is encouraging him to go out and murder people, while his dog, Bosco, is just trying to get him to live a normal life. Seriously, like, The Voices is just like me wrapped up into a movie, and it's so awesome when that happens because, you know, we all see a lot of great movies and that's fantastic, but it's really, really special when you just every once in a while just find a movie that you just feel totally in sync with. It's sort of beautiful in that way. Even though my movie that I'm totally in sync with is about a serial killer. Yeah. I don't know what that says about me. Honestly, this is the kind of movie I would want to make if I had the skills or resources to become a film director. And I went into this movie knowing next to nothing about it, and it was only afterwards that it clicked that Marjane Satrapi is also responsible for the animated movie Persepolis, which is based on her autobiographical graphic novel about her life sort of growing up in Iran, and it's a movie I actually saw for the first time in French class, but it's one that I really, really love. And I think what both of these movies really managed to capture is that sort of perfect meeting point in between comedy and tragedy. And you know, with this movie it definitely plays with darkness. I mean, we've got a movie where the protagonist is a serial killer, but he is a really likeable dude. He's like so sweet, and it's really interesting to play with that, I think, to take characters with such innocence and such optimism and put them in these dark places because they develop this sort of resistance, this sort of resilience to darkness, and it's interesting to play with that and interesting to keep pushing them until they sort of start to crack. I mean, I have loved Ryan Reynolds ever since Buried, which I don't know if you've seen. It's sort of a 127 hours-esque real-time movie, but he's a soldier who's been buried alive in the desert, and it's so tense, and it's so fantastic, and he's just brilliant in it. He carries the entire movie, and here as well, he is just fantastic, because he gives this character such an honest and open performance, and it really stops that character from becoming a joke or becoming ridiculous, but at the same time he's a really funny guy. He's got really great comedic timing, and I am so stupid. I didn't even realise at the time that he was doing the voices for both Mr. Whiskers and Bosco, his pets. I didn't even realise that, and those performances are fantastic, so hilarious, great accents, great Scottish accent, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope this movie sort of gives him a little bit of a renaissance. That would be good, or at least just opens a few more doors for him, because I feel like he's been very underused as an actor. And I think Reynolds' performance is in a lot of ways sort of echoing what Satrapi is doing with this story, and that's telling a very twisted story in a very honest and open way, because I was a little bit worried going into this movie about sort of how they're going to deal with the mental illness aspect of it, a little bit worried that they were going to, you know, basically make schizophrenia into this one big joke, and I definitely didn't get that at all. I think what Satrapi has achieved, and also through Michael R. Perry's screenplay, is something that's sort of, I don't know, universally understandable. And yeah, it's not realistic, it's really silly and funny, and they're talking cats and dogs and Elvis impersonators. But I think at the heart of it, it sort of very effectively explains that struggle that people with mental illness have between the sort of voice in their head that's telling them all these terrible things that represents their mental illness, and the other voice that is just sort of desperately striving for normality and just wants a normal life. And you know, I think having those ideas expressed through Mr. Whiskers and Bosco is going to be as effective as any old sort of heavy-hitting Oscar drama. And what I also really liked is the sort of idea of this fantasy element in the first place, reflecting his mindset and sort of reflecting this idea of his own self-preservation. And you know, on the plus side, it just looks awesome. This movie looks amazing, and like, I love the place where he works. Everything is pink. It's like a candy suburbia magical land. But the thing is, you know, with all those kind of things where it's all like pastel Americana, you just know that something sinister is going on underneath. So yeah, I don't think this movie is going to work for everyone. If you're after just a straight, silly, gory horror comedy, then you might be a little put off by the earnestness of this movie. But I just think this is so much better than your average horror comedy. I recommend this movie 100%. It is possibly my favourite of the year so far, even. Also, when I went to see it in Gothenburg, there's this line in the movie that like rips on Reading as being like living hell, and Reading is a town here in the UK which I grew up like really close to, and so for me that joke hit home run. And so it was really embarrassing because like I instantly revealed myself to be the only person from England in the room by not only being the only person to laugh at that joke, but I fucking cackled like a witch. It was ridiculous. So if you've had a chance to see the voices, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know by commenting down below, or you can tweet at me here. And there is another thing that I desperately want to know from you guys, and that is, are you team hashtag Mr. Whiskers, or are you team hashtag Bosco? It's cats versus dogs! You decide! And if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys super soon. Bye!